Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome back from the break. My name is Christian. I was asked, how do you pronounce my last name? If you're not a trained professional, please don't. You might break your tongue if you try without previous training. It's pronounced Gawrilowicz, so good luck with that. My apartment lives in Vienna in Austria. My office was in Barcelona in Spain before the pandemic hit. So at the moment I'm working from home and I'm an IT consultant in my other life. And basically in my job, I help other people think. So, and today I'm going to spend with you some time and we are going to figure out how to grow, I call it sideways as a level 1. Some of you have been level 1 for some time. Some of you might be fresh. And you probably have asked yourself the question, should I go for level 2 or not? Okay, I see that there seem to be some audio issues. Apologies, I tried to fix that. I have no idea how to remove it. There were some times where the audio issues were not there. So apologies if it is getting too worse, too bad, please tell me. And I might try to reconnect or do something different. Apologies for this. Okay, coming back to the topic. So you might have thought about going for level 2. And because of this, you might have attended the previous session in order to find out if level 2 is something for you. Very often, as a level 1, you consider it a little bit and then you say, nope, that's not for me. I don't see the necessity. I don't want to. But you still want to improve. You still want to be better. It's said from time to time that the judge program is in reality a cult for self-improvement that runs tournament on the side. And we all want to get better. And the focus today is, how do you get better in your current role without advancing? So this is not the goal. If you want to have tips and tricks on how to advance to level 2, nope, sorry, wrong presentation. Please go somewhere else. Okay, so for everyone who's left, who's still here, I assume that you are interested in growing your skills. How are we going to do this? The agenda for this workshop is on a very high level. We're going to find some things, then we find improvements. Then, spoiler, you present the improvements that you have found. That yes, there will be some group work. No, there will not be homework. And then we discuss. Quick comment on the length of the session. It was scheduled for 60 minutes. We will take longer. So we will need at least, let's say 75 minutes, probably 90 minutes. Okay. Felix, please go on mute. We can hear your Darth Vader briefing. Now he stopped briefing. Okay, thanks. So yeah, we will take longer than 1 hour. So if you have better plans for the evening, this is another chance to leave. So, okay, good. What are we going to do? We shared before a link to the Miro board. And the question now is to you, what are you doing in your role of level 1? What are the tasks that you are doing? This can be in a tournament, in the community, in a project, or elsewhere. What are you actually doing all day long as a level 1? And what I would like you to do is that you go to the Miro board, and we have some sticky notes there. I'm going to switch to the Miro board in a second. And I would like you to use these sticky notes and write the tasks that you can think of. Please create one sticky note for each of the tasks. Someone just stole my sticky note. This is my sticky note. You do that by grabbing one sticky note at the bottom, and then you just start typing. When you are on the Miro board, you can zoom in the bottom right corner. So you can zoom in, you can zoom out, and by using the mouse, you can move the whole board. No worries when you move the board and when you change the view, when you change the zoom, this does not influence how the others are seeing this. This is for you personally. If you can't grab a sticky note, on the left-hand side, you need to use the select tool. And please don't try to make monster sticky board, the stickies like Ace did. Please use the available size. If you don't want to see all these mouse cursors zipping around, there is an option here on the top of the screen that says, okay, hide collaborators cursors or show them. And I see that 27 people are already on the Miro board. We have 60 in the presentation. So everyone, please join and create the stickies and put them in the area of tasks of level 1. Yeah, please stick to the size. Please don't modify the size. If you can't see, please use the zoom option to zoom in. If you have any technical questions, please use the chat. Chris, the link was shared multiple times. I'm going to share the link again in the chat. So if you haven't connected, please do so now. Okay, please use the predefined sticky notes. You do that by just clicking on it and oops. You need to use the select tool on the left-hand side. Use the sticky and then you can just move it around and then you type a text. Please don't, as mentioned before, please don't create mutant stickies from hell. Kelvin is asking about how do you stop flying the mouse pointer everywhere. When you look at the top, on the left-hand side of people's icons, there is an option of hide collaborators cursors or show collaborators cursors. Okay, I see there are 38 people already in there. We have 60 in the workshop. And I see Felix created a monster sticky from hell. Calvin says he now found the option of switching off the cursors, but he also says, but having the cursor looks fun. Yes, it actually looks like people are doing things here. I think if you're the person who likes action video games, then this view is fine. If you're like me, who likes more the turn-based strategy games, then you hide the cursors. Thanks, thanks, Kevin, for this expression, saying it looks like Civilization 6 on cannabis. Okay, I think everyone has now hammered out the technical issues. So I give you another 3 minutes to create the sticky notes. And as mentioned, you can zoom in. Okay, I'm going to delete all the ones that are not having a task that is be done by level 1s. Someone managed to create a black sticky. Okay, it's Neo. Neo likes black. I understand. Rescue cats? Really? Vern? Yes, Vern, you. I can calm down everyone. Rescuing cats is not a level 2 task. You only have to do this when you are level 3. Yep. When the system is behaving in a weird way and it's trying to create lines, this happens when you grab a sticky at the edge. In that case, just use undo, and then it should go away again. Tianming, why are you trying to move the frame around? Please don't. Creating stickies in weird shapes, in weird colors. Okay, I think that looks good. We have lots of tasks. We have some black stars. Last title of the last album by David Bowie. Okay, so can you please leave the frame where it was? Don't shift around the frame. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you a lot. What we are now going to do, Mark Leave the frame where it is. I saw you. What we are now going to do is we are now going to group these tasks. In my opinion, there are 4 large groups of things, or 4 groups for these tasks. The first group, in my opinion, is run tournaments. This includes basically coming to the site, or previously discussing with the organizer, making sure that everything is there, what is needed, and maybe discuss with the organizer, check on players, and then run the tournament until the end. The second group, in my opinion, is, and this is quite general, is answer questions. These are typically questions about rules, but can be also be about procedures. This can also be about how to qualify for the Pro Tour, if that still exists. I'm not sure. How to become a pro player, or even talking to parents when they want to know, okay, what is this game about? And so generally answer questions. The third group of things that is typically done is teach and train others. And let me quickly check which one I missed. Yeah. Apologies for this. This is, generally speaking, solve problems, which has a bit of an overlap with answer questions and run tournaments, but can be much broader. Question to you: do you agree, or would you like to have a different separation? Would you like to have different groupings? Any objections to these groupings? Please leave the frames where I put them. Okay, so if there are no objections, then I would like you to grab all these sticky notes that you have created and put them to one of these areas. Question is, should we add self-development? This is exactly the whole topic of the workshop. So my assumption is that self-development is what we want to do. We want to improve. Now we have identified these areas. And then in the next step, we try to find out how are we getting better in these areas. And we could now go to a meta level by asking, okay, but how do we develop our development skills? But I think in the broadest sense, that would also fall under teach and train others. And what I can do is I can remove the others and say, okay, then let's just say train and teach. And that would include yourself. But good point, Richard. Okay, we still have a couple of stickies left on the left-hand side. Can someone adopt them and also move them to the right-hand side, please? That's a good one. Create a fun and nurturing environment for local players. It's an interesting thing where to put that. And I see the rescue cats made it. It was put under solve problems. Okay, amazing. Excellent job, gentlemen and ladies. Thank you very much so far. Okay, the next step now is going to be a bit more tricky. Because we are now going to find improvements. And how are we going to do this? We are going to group you at tables in the lobby. And the idea is that each table takes one of these areas and discuss within the group ideas on how to improve that specific area. So we have the area run tournaments. So the question is, what can you do in order to be better in running tournaments? Then what can you do in order to be better to answer questions? Of course, this depends a little bit on the type of questions, but this would also be a task on finding out how to do that. Then we have the teach and train. The question is, okay, how do you get better at teaching and training others? And then we have the last group of how are you getting better at solving problems? We have a lot of people. Each table seats a maximum of 8. And I think we will be fine with having 8 tables. And that means that 2 tables are working on the same topic. So the idea is we will post the draft settings, the table assignments. And the first 2 tables are going to work on run tournaments. The next 2 tables are going to work on answer questions. Table 5 and 6 are going to work on teach and train. And table 7 and 8 are going to work on the topics solve problems. Each table must nominate a speaker. Please do this in the chat. In the chat directly to me or to Felix. And after this group work session, each topic is going to be presented by the nominated speaker. And this presentation should not be longer than 5 minutes. So focus on the most important things, most important tips and tricks on how to improve on a specific area. Kevin, yes, you're right. This is also some sort of team building. You're in there together. The thing is, the speaker has to be a level 1. Welcome to the Hunger Games. You have just been volunteered as tributes. So, are the instructions clear? So you are going to be seated at tables. Each table has a topic they have to work on. And what you have to do in the group work is you need to find methods, tips and tricks on how to improve in that specific area. With the stickies, you have a collection of tasks that fall under this area. So you can use this as a starting point. If you can think about additional things that belong into that area, that's also fine. The idea is you present to everyone else then, these are possibilities on how to improve in that specific area. Any questions? And I see Kelvin says this is now his motivation to go for level 2 so that he does not have to present. I think the table where Kelvin is sitting already has a volunteer for presenting the results. Yeah, one. Okay, Dino is asking, okay, I'm not sure how to move to the table view. You have a, we are going to pause this presentation then. And then you will be in the lobby. And in the lobby area, you have all the tables. We're also going to share the link to a Google Sheet with the table assignments. We might, thank you very much. This is the sheet to the Google. This is the link to the Google Sheet. We might be rearranging the seating a little bit because the Google Sheet was prepared with everyone who registered for the conference, and which were more than 80, no, I think close to 100, and we are now 56. Yeah, I'm also going to share the Google Sheet on the screen. As soon as I've found it again, I have too many tabs open. Okay, this is also the, Kelvin, give us a second. So this is the Google Sheet. These are the table assignments. For the presentation, for the collection of your result, you can either use Miro or you can use any tool you like. If you use something different, for example, if you're creating a PowerPoint slide or if you are just talking, please at least create some notes and then share the notes with me later. I want to include them in the final presentation, what you have found. And yeah, if there are no more questions here, then let's get moving.
So I'll just leave the presentation ongoing for just a few more seconds so everyone can take a look. And when we pause this, it's going to cut the feed. So everyone, please proceed to your assigned table and we can get started. Okay, so give it a few more seconds for people to check.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. So I'll be sending the link in the chat again anyway after this. So yeah, let's pause the session and move back into the lounge.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. First task for everyone, for all the tables, please nominate your speaker in the chat. So please write something like table number and then the name of your speaker. I hope you had a good and productive session. And yeah, apologies again for the technical issues. We learned the hard way that with this tool here, with this platform, it is quite tricky and complicated to create groups. Specifically when we were not having all the people who originally registered here. Okay, thank you very much for the speakers. Please use the table number because I don't really know what the names of the tables are. So, yeah, we will then give you speaker rights. we will invite the speakers um, to the stage. And yeah, we are going to start because they were finished ages ago. We are going to start with table 10.
Right.
Their topic was teach and train others. We have two topics that were handled by two tables. We are not going to present both tables, but I'm then asking the second table to add if their findings, if anything is missing. Okay, so table number 10, it's EJ.
Right. So, EJ, could you please use the raise hand button? So, there we go. Excellent.
Oh, EJ, welcome to the stage.
Hello. Good evening, friend. Thank you for
Good
having me.
evening, everyone. What have you found? Which tips and tricks have you found for improving in teaching and training others?
All right. So I'm speaking on behalf of Team Mulligan Procedure Error. And hi, friends. I'm EJ Lim. I'm an L1 judge from the Philippines. And yeah. So due to our discussions, we came up with a bunch of points here. So first of all, being a judge and training and teaching through this difficult time, being available all the time, being consistently available is very important, right? Having an internet connection, being available for questions and stuff as much as you can is extremely important when it comes to this day and age, right? Answering messages through Facebook, stuff like that. A lot of our friends have talked about these experiences, and I totally agree here. And then our second point, empathy, right? Being a teacher and a student, you do know that it's important to understand where the other person is coming from, right? Being considerate, thinking about their point of view. There is no such thing as a stupid question, right? These things are very important to keep in mind and to keep people inside the game, right? We want them to have a nurturing environment for them to grow as players and human beings, right? And on that similar vein, point three is patience while teaching, right? Because of course we're only human. We are subject to our own emotions as well, right? Sometimes we'll encounter frustrating people. Sometimes we'll encounter problems, right? That will test us. But as judges, as people who are supposed to be pillars of the community, who are supposed to be shining examples, what it is to be a Magic player, patience is key, right? Very much so. Additionally, because now we are encountering a unique situation, right, in the form of the pandemic, it's difficult for everyone, right? And that brings us to point four, which is sharing tools and apps to help spread the word to players who are interested in learning the rules for themselves, right? The popular saying that goes, teach a man to fish, right? And you'll never have to feed him again, right? Is key here, I think. Uh, Directing these resources for players to be able to use themselves is pretty nice, and at least they learn some of the rules for themselves. But of course, we still have to be there for them if they need us, right? And our almost final point here is be proactive when it comes to learning, right? Because we are supposed to be providing knowledge, information to these players, right? We always have to be bettering ourselves, not just as Magic players, not just when it comes to the rules and stuff, but also as human beings, right? Being able to relate to them, to be able to give them the lessons that they need, but also being just a complete package, right? Is very important here. So, being proactive, very important. And our last point, which is more of a motivation for us as individuals, right? Is to also be open to learn while teaching, right? Because just because you are in the teacher position when it comes to like our relationships with players doesn't mean that you don't have anything to pick up from them, right? It may be new tricks in Magic or whatever, but it also might be just certain life lessons to pick up along the way, right? When you make mistakes, these are lessons that you can also learn from, right? These are all learning experiences, and we should be picking up these lessons as we go along. So yeah, these are the points that we discussed together by Team Mulligan Procedure Error. And yeah, it's been me, EJ Lim. Real quick before I go, I was told to do a little bit of self promotion while I'm here. Is that okay? so
As long as you're not spamming the chat with with links to your YouTube channel, everything is
oh no,
fine.
it's all good. I only got two things, right? So I represent a magic store here in the Philippines. So we are CXMTG. So you can check out our website cxmtg.com. Right? Our we got a lot of things in there, and if you want to check it out, hey, we'd appreciate it, right? And I also stream. I am a streamer. I'm known as Ponderkind on Twitch. So if you guys want to check me out, hey, you're more than welcome to, right? I don't do a lot of magic content, but hey, maybe we can hang out.
Okay, thank you very much, EJ. We are going to send you the price list for doing advertisements here in this conference.
All right. Thanks, friends. Thank you
Yeah,
guys for the
thank you
opportunity.
very much, EJ.
All right. Have a great time, guys.
Thank you very much. Table 4, do you have anything to add? Who is the speaker for table 4? You should also be, you can easily identify yourself by you were the other table who took care of teaching and training. So who was this speaker, the nominated? Ah,
Yes.
perfect.
There
Hi,
you go.
Brian. Do you have
Hi.
anything to add what the other team found? Or anything that you do not agree, where you say, no, that's complete bullshit.
No, I think it was great. Great. I want to say, wow, for having to follow that speaker. If I wasn't already nervous, that was amazing. Good job, EJ. But yeah, I think the only thing that I would want to add is we did have, I think it was Ricardo. He mentioned that he was directed to a group of other aspiring L1s, and that it really helped him. It really, like EJ mentioned, it created like a safe place for learning, and so maybe not just that we have to teach, but we can also direct them to a place where they can learn on their own or together, and to be mindful of everyone's different learning styles, right? And to be open to different learning styles, and don't just assume, what worked for one person is going to work for another person. But I really liked it. Also, I'd like to mention giving them some opportunities for success. So maybe allowing them to shadow you or ask their opinions when they see something happen, or giving them a chance to be successful, to have that feeling of like, I knew what to do in this situation. I'm actually learning something, and I might actually be good at this judge thing. It might help boost the confidence, make them want to put in that commitment to actually becoming L1. But other than that, I think AJ did a great job. So.
Okay, thank you very much, Brian. Okay. Quick things to add from my side. One that was mentioned by both teams, which is really, really important: shared knowledge. Create spaces, platforms where you can find the knowledge. Knowledge that you have in your head, and if your head is the only place where this knowledge is lost knowledge. So share it as much as possible. This is a really, really important thing, especially in times when we cannot meet each other. Having good platforms where the collective knowledge is somewhere stored is really good. And what Brian mentioned, what I really loved, is the safe space. I define a safe space as a space where they can fail, because you learn from your mistakes. So when you are mentoring someone, when you're training someone, don't be afraid to let them do things. They might make a mistake. This does not really matter, because you are there to catch them. So when you are training someone, when you're a mentor, you are more or less a portable safety net. Let them do things, they will break things, but that provides a perfect opportunity for you to fix things again. So this is what I wanted to add. And of course, when you are going to be a teacher, know your shit. This is probably the most important thing, because when you want to teach something, you need to understand it. Okay, so much for this section. Thank you very much. Then I would like to continue with table number 6, and the topic was answer questions. So who's the dedicated speaker for table number 6? Hello, Patrick. What did your table find?
Hello? Yeah, you guys can hear me? All right.
Yes.
So I'll be presenting about the improvements about answering questions.
Mhm.
Sorry about the background noise.
Oh, no worries.
I'm in the store. So how we be better with answering question? So for from us our discussion before, the first one is know your char or document or anything with the rules. And if in the general situation, in the paper magic situation, establish what's really happened in the board and listen to the player. So but now in the pandemic situation, mostly we will be answering online. So what we like to do is ask them back a little to make sure on what level they're understanding about the rule. For me personally, players will only can agree with you with the answer if they got the same understanding with you. But also try to answer them as simple as possible. In the tournament situation, try to answer question with what we know. If somehow you were answering them wrong, you can confirm with them later. So and you should imagine you're explaining to someone new. Not everybody is in the same understanding with you judges. Some players can really understand how the game works, but don't belittle them. We should understand them that yeah, at some point someone is uh, is new at some point. Yeah, we're starting new like when we're playing Magic, we don't know anything about it, right? So the final words from our team is about answering question. Do mistakes, don't be afraid of it, and learn from it. That's from us.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Patrick. Thank you very much. From my side, Patrick said two very, very important things. The first one is understand the question. People might not know what they are asking. And especially when dealing with players, we as judges, we have multiple different roles. We are the sheriff, we are the judge, we are the executioner, we are the teacher, we are sometimes even a parent. So understand the context and understand what the players would like to, which information they would like to get. For example, you are at a regular event, players raise their hand, call for a judge, and they ask, okay, can I do this? And the teacher in you probably wants to tell them the whole comprehensive rule book in order to make sure that they fully understand the rules. This is probably not a good situation in that case because these players are there, they want to have fun, they encounter a problem. What they need right now is someone who fixes this problem for them so that they can continue having fun. If a player comes between the round and says, I have a question, then probably this is the situation where you not only tell him yes or no, so yes, this works, or no, this does not work, because in this situation, it's probably more appropriate to give the full context and explain the underlying rule here. So this is what I mean with understand the question. What is really asked here? What is the expected answer? Is it a short answer so that they can continue, or is it a longer explanation to make sure that they learn something from that? Also, Patrick said, okay, if you are not sure, then check. This is really, really important. So this is in general, this does not only apply to answer questions, but in general, when you are not sure when you ask something, double check with someone. It's never a problem also in the tournament to tell the players, okay, I have an idea what the correct answer is. I need to double check with a colleague, or I need to look that up. I will be back in 2 minutes. And what was also really, really important, what I really liked, is the empathy. There are no stupid questions. There never were. There can only be stupid answers. Trust me, I'm doing this for quite a long time. And as I said, we were all beginners at some point. And if you don't like to get questions from beginners, then probably you should look for a different occupation. Okay, so much about that. Feel free to add any additional suggestions on how to get better in answering questions. Feel free to post them in the chat. And we are now switching to the next topic. I would like to ask table number 8 forward. They were talking about the topic of problem solving. Who is the dedicated speaker for table number 8? Yeah.
Test.
Hello, Ryan. Welcome. What does your team has to tell us?
Okay. First of all, I want to say thank you to all of you to join right now, and to the host and to the speakers. We're very grateful for this. And to be honest, my heart is about to burst. I'm really nervous right now, but I'll try to speak for my team. Okay. For problem solving is very unique and very different from each one. Like, one problem solving is different from end to the other. Like, and problem solving, it covers a lot of topics, like all the other topics, like answering questions when you're problem solving, teaching and training when you're problem solving, and even running tournaments when you're problem solving too. But there's a lot of different skill sets that we need to have to solve problems. But the most important thing is probably empathy. Like, we're dealing with other people, we're dealing with players and other judges probably. And the one thing we need to see, like we often forget, is empathy. Like, they're human too. Okay, so when we see the problems, what we need to do, what we need to focus first. First, we need to assess the situation, see if there is a problem or not, or it's just something that just happens. That's and if there is a problem, we need to identify the source of the problem. And how we do that? We can do it by listening. We can do it by paying attention to whatever is happening, and we can do an investigation to get into the core of the problems. And second, if there is a problem, see if the problem is too big to handle, or if it can be broken down into smaller, easier problem to solve. And we can do this by prioritizing, like, which problem is bigger, which problem is not. Sometimes we tend to see like the whole picture, but we sometimes forget that we can just, and when we see the whole picture, it's just really overwhelming. We're humans too, so it's really overwhelming. But it's easier for you to just break down the problems, and it will help you to solve the problems one by one, and eventually you'll solve all the problems. It's something we commonly forget. And the third one is, please remember to share your problems with others if it's too much. Sometimes we feel like it's our responsibility. Sometimes we feel like it's something that we uh, it's like our ego or something that they're busy too. They won't help us. This is a very wrong misconception, probably. Yeah. Uh, if if you think it's too much for you to handle, share it with others. And also, I so we can wrap it up by so what we need to improve. It's our skill set, investigate our skill set on investigating, listening, technical problem solving, identifying the problem, understanding the problem, breaking it into smaller parts, and solving it one by one. It's really important, and we can learn from others' experience. Like we can chat with store owners, we can chat with other judges, the players, or we can join conference like right now, or we can read articles and blogs to to help us identify problems. It's really good. And also the most important thing is go out and experience the event, like on judging or like being present in a conference. And also one thing I forgot to mention is if we can anticipate the problem before the event, it will really help us. Like but before an event, we can break down what might go on, what might happen, and what we can do to anticipate that. We can discuss it with other judges or other people in the victory. It would help on the problem solving. I think that's all from us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Roy. Great job. Um, there were two things that I really liked in what you came up with. The first one was understand the problem. In Europe, it can happen that at a large event, you see two players talking really angrily to each other. And it might be that they are only talking in German. And there is no anger at all. So understand the problem first. And the second thing that I really liked was analyze the problem. And if it is too big for you, then go and ask for help. It's the same with when you are not 100% sure when giving an answer, check with others. Also, especially when you are working at large events in teams, check if the problem is actually your problem to fix. This is probably also some advice for life. Make sure that this problem that you want to solve is actually your problem to solve. Because if you want to take care of all the problems in the world, you will probably burn out and will be horribly overworked. So pay attention to this. So thank you very much. Let's continue with the topic around tournament. And who is the representative of table number 1? Hello and welcome. So how do we get better at running tournaments?
Hello?
Yeah.
So, can everyone hear me?
At least I can hear you.
Yeah.
And I want to learn what your group came up with.
Yeah. So good evening, everyone. So I'm Ace from the Philippines, a level 1 judge. I just got certified last March 2020. So not much of tournaments. So what our group discussed was on running tournaments and how to improve it. So basically, we discussed on the pre-event preparation. So we are more focused on the communication because information is the key for the players, judges, and the tournament organizers. So as a judge, so we run tournaments. So we must have cover all the informations and anticipate all the questions that will be coming from players or interested other parties to join the event. So all information must be given to all during announcement, posters, social media postings, something like that. So also the tournament start and time schedule, event format, and the pricing structure. Also, the sponsor should be there and all other necessary information. So going to the next point is the logistics on the event day. So we must have it covered also and improve and anticipate all the possible problems we might encounter. Also we have also improvement on deck checks during small tournaments and major tournaments. And also at the same time we also take into account the online tournaments. So during online tournaments, so we must require decklist submission so to prevent in between rounds changing cards or something or cheating. So deck checks are very important online and offline. So and the last point we have discussed for improvement are the customer service about MTG companion. So we have been hearing some complaints on pairing discrepancies. So not like the Wear software we are using before. So Companion not perfect for now, but we are hoping to see the improvement on this for the next few months. And also the MTG Melee, so for that's the current one we are using for MTG Arena. I think it also needs improvement on some bugs and other issues. So lastly, improvement on promoting the next event. So we keep the players enticed and interested. So we discuss some spoilers or some possible prizes for the next event. So we can keep the players engaged and also to support the LGS. So that's all, Christian.
Ace, thank you very much. Awesome job. I would like to emphasize what was mentioned, the being prepared, meaning you need to put in some effort in preparing the tournament so that you can foresee potential issues and you have a plan. In general, having a plan to run a tournament is always a really, really good idea, because with this you can continuously check if you're still on track or if you need to improve some of the things that you're currently doing. And also at the end of a tournament, think how the day was, not only for you personally, but how did the tournament go? What went well? What can be improved for the next thing? So awesome job. Thank you very much. Table 7, do you have anything, what do you have to add? Who's the representative of Table 7? You were the other table who took care of running tournaments.
Right, so Calvin, if you could press the raise hand button on the screen. Yes, there we go.
Yes, excellent. Hello, Kelvin.
Hi.
What do you have to add to what
Can you hear me?
the other group has found?
I hope everybody can hear me because during my meetings with my work, most of the people usually say I'm like drowning in and out. Hi, I'm Kevin Chang. I'm the L1 judge. I just got my judge during this pandemic, just way before the pandemic. So once I was, I got my judge, then the pandemic started. So I have no chance to actually to run any events or join any during this period. So until now, so I've been joining a few conference and things like that. So I have let me let you guys know first. I have no knowledge on how to run the tournament because I've never run one before. I'm Kevin Chong from Malaysia, one judge. Okay, so we are talking about the improvement of the tournaments. So actually I categorize into three subtopics. One is before the tournament, another is during the tournament, and one is post-tournament. So before the tournament, one of the things that I highlight during a discussion with my team is about getting tournaments players to come early and be punctual. So how to do that? So some of the suggestions is to remind all the players for the tournament to install the companion app. We do know that Magic have a companion app for players to actually to keep track of events and also their scorings and stuff like that. So part of this companion app also actually give reminders for players to actually to remind them when the event is started and things like that. And apparently, it works wonders for some of my team members. So, and also one suggestion I would like to add, if possible, if we can able to actually to get a list of all the tournament players' emails and contacts, right, we might able to actually remind them to actually to install the app and also send them calendars. Because most everyone nowadays have their own phones, and one for another, either Apple or whichever, they actually can accept the calendars and also can remind them during the tournaments. So another thing I'd like to add is before the tournament is always to have a checklist. This is like what Christian have said, it's important to make sure that we are prepared for the tournaments. So the things that we need to prepare, like printers, make sure the printers have inks, the laptops is actually working fine, and papers. Because I'm an IT person, right? Actually, I am an enterprise architect, so IT is my stuff. So make sure that we test all the peripherals up front. Always have a backup plan if fail. Example, if we might know that if there's a printer there, if a printer might fail on that day, make sure we knows where to actually get another printers and things like that. I must always emphasize we must know some of networking experience also, because nowadays we are using laptops, printers, and most of the time we are using Wi-Fi and things like that. Learn some basic IT troubleshooting. If everything else fails, Uncle Google is always there. Right. So next actually is during the tournament. One of the for judges, we need to make sure the tournament mood as light as possible. Tournament is supposed to be fun and competitive while following the rules. It's not a strict an university entry exam or a prison check. Right. So it's important because during tournaments, players' emotions are very very high. So they are very competitive. They might get angry when other players do something else, things like that. So it might lead to conflict. So we try to reduce the number of conflicts that happen during the tournaments, right? So we wouldn't want to contribute to that. So try to make the tournament moods as light as possible. Okay. So next thing is my team member also suggested that we need to print and use multiple area to post pairing, because most of the tournaments experience, we can see that pairings are being posted only in one place. It needs to be bright and concise because players need to look for their seats as fast as they can during the breaks, right? So if it's hard for you to read, it's probably hard for other players to read too. So one of the tricks that actually is to make sure there's always space in between lines when actually you post the pairing, easier for players to see. The text need to be brighter. I mean, not brighter as in bigger. One of the tricks also is, if possible, actually make two-tone colors. At example, like first line you have a beige color as a background. The next line actually you have a light blue. Then you continue beige and light blue, beige and light blue. So it's easier for players to see because it works wonders for UI. UI is actually user interface. So for us, and I think it's for small LGS event, always announce the table and players names clearly and loudly. Don't speak on the speaker very soft and things like that. So and also make sure that you always have a direct contact to TO and or the head judge available to them. Make sure you're contactable all the time. If they want to call you, most probably there's a problem, and the problem need to be assisted quickly. Okay. The next thing is assist the TO on any logistic issue, preparing for a tournament one day before or during the tournament. Assist the head judge on any issue arise. One of the suggestions also is after the tournament, post tournament. If you can actually, I think it's something that we can do. Put up a suggestion box, right? So for players to actually to vent their complaints or maybe their suggestions, right? So we can actually take it up as something for us to actually to review to improve better in future tournaments. It might be the TO, it might be the tournament itself, it might be someone. It's something that we can learn. We want to learn something in every tournament. So always thanks the player for coming too, because make sure they are welcome, even they are lost. Remind they gain more experience, friends, and knowledge. And most importantly, thanks for them for actually to teaching us too, because we learn something from them either. That's all from me.
Thank you very much, Kelvin.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
What I really liked here is the suggestion, and this ties into at the end of the tournament, review the tournament and check what can be improved. And I like the idea to involve the players here with the suggestion box. So that's a good thing. Okay, this was the last finding, or the last group who presented their finding. Are there any open questions? So you can either use the general chat or you can use the question functionality. Yeah, I'm adding on what Vern is saying. Yeah, thank you. Thanks to all the 6 gentlemen for presenting their findings. Thanks all the 6 groups for coming up with really good ideas. Yeah, from my side, apology for taking that long, but unfortunately we were facing the technical issues. I hope this was useful for you. You could take something home and something that you can apply on your way on becoming the best level 1 in the world. So the trick is, I think this is in general for everything that you are doing, try to do it as good as can, reflect from time to time on how to become better at what you are doing. If you don't have any idea on how to become better at what you're doing, ask someone, find a mentor, or 2, or 7, or 8,000 as it is in the case of the judge program. As I don't see any questions, I use then the opportunity to thank you. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for your input. And that's it from me. Have a good day. Bye-bye.